basically we're hitting to the tail end of the NBA season, and this is basically the deadline for guys from around the globe to sign last minute buyouts, guys playing in foreign leagues to come back to the NBA. Phil, I'll throw this to you first. What's the most intriguing kind of last minute signing you've seen this season?
Um, Last minute signing. I mean, I've always been a Michael Beasley fan. I'm a big fan of him, but I'm not a fan of Houston and how that's working out. I don't think he necessarily adds too much there, but I actually think in a weird way, Indiana with Ty Lawson, it's to me, they're a fairly young team. They have an established point guard already, but they have a point guard, George Hill, who can play some off ball, play the two. Monte Ellis is a smaller two guard, but you know, I, I think with Lawson, it's all like, everyone knows if he got everything running again, the numbers he put up in Denver. Now, if he get his personal life straight, who knows? But for them, I see it as they don't need him to start, but if he ever can turn it around and realize maybe a smaller town Indiana, maybe that basketball culture, maybe playing under Larry Bird like he did for Lance Stephenson, maybe some of that can right the ship. And if he does that, I really like that three-man rotation, and pairing that with Miles Turner, I think that makes, I don't know if obviously doesn't make him a contender, but I think it jumps them up another level where they become kind of sneaky good.
Justin, what stands out to you?
Within a lot of what Phil said, I think Indy does have a lot of those great core pieces. Honestly, Phil, I got to give you a lot of credit when it comes to Miles Turner. I didn't think he'd be as pro-ready as he has been, but his footwork, his polish, it's really, really impressive to me. I've just been blown away by Turner and what he's done this season.
Yeah, no, he's a fantastic guy, and I think he meets the modern NBA need for a big man wholeheartedly. And I'm sure on a lesser level, Paul George is happy he doesn't have to play power forward anymore.
What
Yeah,
about
for
the
sure.
Spurs? Spurs have levied out their bench, picking up Barton and Miller. Do you think that was the right move for these guys?
I love it. I absolutely love the move for Kevin Martin. Gives him another shooter. He's not a strong defender by any stretch of the imagination, but he does try there. And the Spurs have successfully hid poor defenders in the past. They've done a good job this year with LaMarcus Aldridge, who is probably closer to about break even overall defensively. But they've hid what he doesn't do well, very well. And I think the Spurs getting another shooter, another wing, someone that can generate offense, which they were lacking, especially if Tony Parker does slow down a little bit as the season goes on. Kevin Martin's someone that can initiate the offense and create penetration. So I really, really do love the Kevin Martin pickup. I think that's one of the more impactful deadline pickups.
Yeah,
Phil
no,
and Andre Miller.
Andre. Well, I'm not sure because I think Patty Mills and you know, uh, if Manu comes back, his ball handling along with Tony Parker. I think Andre Miller is more of a sentimental piece. I think he'll play sparingly, but I think I'd have to agree more with Justin with Kevin Martin. I think it never hurts to add someone who's a knockdown 3-point shooter to a team that wants to aspire, especially who has two post guys like Aldridge and Duncan. I just think it can't do anything but help. But at the same time, I think it's a perfect situation for Kevin Martin. I think him putting himself in a situation where he had to be more than what he's capable of right now, play more minutes than he should be. I mean, I think there's a lot of places he could have gone, but I think this is the perfect system. I think he'll get you maybe 10, 15 minutes a game and just really be able to be fresh all the time. And I think what Kevin Martin, I believe, is 32 right now. So I think at that point, it's kind of the ideal transition. I mean, we're talking about LeBron getting older and finding better ways to maximize his talents. I think this is a great way, and I think Kevin Martin can. We've seen he'll put up 20 points here or there. Like he's one of those guys. It gives the Spurs another guy who, because of their their ball movement, and like a different guy's their hero every day. He gives them another legit guy that he could come up in a playoff game and give you 20, 23, and you wouldn't be that surprised. I mean, I'd be shocked if he did it every game, but little games here and there where he's just a top 2 scorer on your team wouldn't surprise me at all.
Yeah, you could argue that they probably have the deepest team in the league right now.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
And the oldest by far.
Yeah. Now Tim Duncan's no longer the oldest Spur, which is...
It seems oddly fitting to have the professor in a Spurs jersey, though. Like, that just needed to happen before he retired.
Yeah. And no one's brought up Nazir Mohammed.
Because why would you?
Back to OKC. So full circle, back to OKC. Well, look, he's been there before. He's done that before. And when we're talking about a 6'10 big who's not a great defender in my eyes, I mean, between McGarry, and Collison, and it's not like they're missing Cantor. Like there's different levels of skill, but I don't think he'll play that much, to be honest. I just think he's an extra big body.
Yeah, it's just he's a tall guy with a pulse, and he's an insurance piece. He's not much more than that at this point of his career.